Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today we would be talking about the best smart TV in today's market, that is the LG C1 OLED. Link to that would be in the description box below. Before we get started, share with us what TV you're currently using and the annoying problems you're experiencing with it, that might make you get a new one this year. Please subscribe and turn on the notification bell to get notified each time we upload helpful videos like this. Let's get straight into today's video. The LG C1 is a TV based on OLED display technology with 4K resolution and flat design with screen sizes from 48 inches to an impressive 87 inches. LG has made a number of small tweaks to last year's model. It's now using LG's Alpha A9 General 4 processor for better upscaling and virtual surround sound audio, and with 4 separate HDMI 2.1 ports it's ready for the PS5, Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, and whatever next-gen consoles you can throw at it. Gamers will also appreciate the new Game Optimizer menu that gives you the option to quickly adjust brightness, contrast and VRR on the go. As with the previous model, you'll find support for both Google Assistant and Amazon's Alexa, who can be summoned using buttons on your remote, and a near-complete repository of streaming services that includes Netflix, Hulu, Disney+, Amazon Prime Video and many more. For music streaming your options are slightly more limited, but you can still pick from Spotify, Plex, Pandora, Amazon Music and more. It can feel silly to talk about how a TV looks on the outside, it's the picture that matters most after all, but you can't ignore its posh design that sets itself apart from the crowd. The first thing you'll likely notice about any given OLED TV is its thin, futuristic design. Since they first hit the shelves several years back, LG OLEDs have earned a reputation for being particularly pretty, with their razor-thin profile and elegant stand design. The C1 continues this fine tradition with an elegant, thoughtful profile that's sure to make your living room proud. The front of the TV is pure minimalism. There's a long silver stand that holds the TV upright and only a millimeter or two between the picture and the edge of the display. If you were to mount it, pretty much all you'd see is the screen. But mind you that the extra heft helps prevent the TV from wobbling. Spin the TV around to the side and you'll see the razor-thin OLED screen, which is no thicker than a smartphone. I couldn't help but admire that the thickest part of its panel, where its internals are housed, is narrow compared to most backlit LED TVs. In terms of ports, the C1 has 4 full-spec HDMI 2.1 ports that support 4K at 144 Hz, plus you've got 3 USBs, RF tuner, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth and optical digital audio output. Last but not least, one of the HDMI ports supports eARC/ARC, which is great for folks with an AVR or soundbar who don't like to have more than one remote in use. Speaking of remotes, the LG C1 OLED comes with the wonderful LG Magic Remote that's Bluetooth enabled and has a built-in microphone for voice searches. The remote feels great in the hand and runs off 2 AA batteries. What I love most is that the UI can either be controlled using Wii-style motion controls or the directional pad, or you can use the 4 quick launch buttons down at the bottom to the most popular apps. I personally love this incredible contrast. For full effect, its impressive contrast needs to be seen in person, which is truly a magical moment especially for first-timers. These impressive displays are capable of producing perfect black levels on account of their self-emissive nature, and since contrast is a cornerstone of picture quality, the benefits of OLED are immediately apparent. Like many LG OLEDs that came before it, the C1's jaw-dropping contrast is its best quality. With perfect black levels, even the darkest scenes are draped in detail, shadow delineation is precise and, impressively, there's almost no light bloom to speak of when bright picture elements meet darkness. When it comes to brightness, the LG C1 has plenty to offer, at least as far as OLEDs go. It joins the ranks of the Sony A90J and the LG G1 as one of the 3 brightest OLEDs I've ever had. Still on the subtopic of its mesmerizing brightness and contrast, the C1 OLED supports most major flavors of HDR, including HDR10, Dolby Vision and HLG, with the minor exception being HDR10+. That last bit means you won't see shows from Amazon Prime live up to their full potential, but services like Netflix, Vudu and Disney will all have Dolby Vision content enabled. Now might be the perfect time to subscribe to my channel and give this video a like if you haven't done so. Speaking of the picture quality, the C1 doesn't use the new LG OLED Evo panel. This Evo panel adds additional brightness through a new lighting element in the self-emissive pixels. This is absent in the C1 but definitely not a deal breaker, as I found that it isn't really lacking in brightness. In my moderately bright living room, the picture looked gorgeous. The reason the C1 is able to do that is because the light sensor built into the TV measures levels of ambient light and calibrates the picture accordingly. If the TV sees that there's more light in the room, it adds extra brightness to the screen. In fact, the only area that could stand to be improved in terms of picture quality is the way the Alpha A9 Gen 4 processor handles faces, leaving a bit of a reddish hue and graininess. On the bright side, the processor does an excellent job at upscaling. Films from the mid-2000s look like they were shot and distributed in 4K despite being streamed in HD. There are, of course, higher resolution TVs out there right now like the LG Z1 OLED, which offers 8K resolution, and the new LG G1 Gallery series that uses the coveted OLED Evo panels that offer better brightness. However, I feel that the LG C1 OLED offers the best blend of price and performance and should be high up on your list for potential TVs to buy in 2021 and beyond. It's definitely worth talking about the new gaming features on the C1, as that's where the majority of the innovation is in this year. For starters, it supports both auto-low latency mode, which automatically switches the C1 into its gaming mode when a console is detected, as well as variable refresh rate, VRR, which prevents screen tearing and other visual artifacts during gameplay. In addition, the C1 offers a refresh rate of 120 Hz and supports 120 FPS at 4K resolution across all of its HDMI ports. Simply put, the C1 is one of the best TVs you can pair with an Xbox Series X or a PlayStation 5. Like other LG TVs this year, the C1 puts all of its gaming-related settings right at your fingertips with a feature the company refers to as Game Optimizer. Rather than bury all of the various gaming settings in separate sub-menus, Game Optimizer puts them all in one place that can be easily accessed at any time. From the Game Optimizer menu, you'll find most of the TV's motion enhancement settings, as well as various picture presets for different genres of games, rebounds per game, FPS, and RTS. There's also a toggle switch in the Game Optimizer menu that reduces blue light in order to curb eye strain. While I'm just beginning to take some of Game Optimizer's finely tuned controls out for a spin, it really is a breath of fresh air to have all of these options in one place, just a few clicks away. Already down to making a purchase? Check out the link in the description box below to get a more updated price of the LG C1. The savory gaming features aren't the only tricks up the LG C1 OLED sleeve this year. It's also got a pretty neat AI sound upscaling feature that transforms basic stereo audio tracks into virtual 5.1.2 Dolby Atmos sound with a fair amount of verticality, and that makes the LG C1 OLED sound a heck of a lot better than your standard TV speakers. Admittedly, it's not quite better than a standalone soundbar, especially if you pit it against one of the best soundbars like the Sonos Arc, but out-of-the-box sound should be more than adequate for most people. The only real issue I notice is that, if you don't have sound leveling turned on, audio can be a bit all over the place, meaning you'll hear booming bass and nearly sibilant highs with weaker dialogue when watching the big new Hollywood blockbuster. Thankfully, you can tweak that by either setting the default sound profile to enhance dialogue or turn on volume leveling. Overall, the $2,500 LG C1 is taking up the mantle of LG's vaunted C classification, and the number in its name might prove to be fitting, as the C1 is on pace for being my #1 TV of the year. The only TVs that match the LG C1 in features and eclipse it in performance are the LG G1 and the Sony A90J, but both of these OLED-class competitors are only marginally better despite costing significantly more. Do get it if you want one of the best TVs this year without entirely wiping out your bank account. True, it's more expensive than some budget models, but its moderately expensive price tag is well worth it. Plus, if you're a gamer with next-gen consoles, then this is the best smart TV you've been waiting for. With that said, check out the description box below for a more updated price of the C1. That's it for today's video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell to be the first to get notified of my recent uploads. Don't forget to like and share this video if you found it truly helpful. See you in my next upload. Bye.